the reality through affecting the satisfaction, trust, and commitment. And the last two factors are e-service quality and service quality. Why it is true? Because especially in telecommunication industry, e-service is a major factor, not like other industries. E-service is very important. Some people are choosing between companies only because of e-service quality. They need to have a fast payment method, fast handling through online, not through the regular way of doing the services. Okay, so this is the model. My research was deductive, starting with the hypothesis, and then the questionnaire, and then the observation. It was a quantitative one, descriptive. It was cross-functional, of course. I did the questionnaire, two sections. First one is like for the demographic and the age and education and those factors, which were 6 statements, and 58 statements was for the remaining, trying to measure as much as I can the different factors which I mentioned. It is only for the telecommunication industry. It was not something else. I'm measuring the reality in the telecom industry only. It was distributed online, and I received valid responses 269. Once I received the responses, I started to analyze the data. So I used the SPSS, starting with the descriptive analysis. You can see gender, female 42, male is 58, which is almost equal. Nationality 30% Kuwaiti and 70% are non-Kuwaitis. For age group, I made it 4 groups, like between 20 to 29, 30, 39, 40, 49, and above 50. Most of them was in the category of 30, 39, which is my community. And education level, it was 4. I started by 4, high school and diploma, and then university degree and postgraduate. But from the result, I received only 1 response from the high school, so I combined it with the diploma and below. I made it one group. And we can see also most of them are university degree. Then the telecom company, whoever is answering the questionnaire has to define which company he is. We have 3 companies here in Kuwait: Ooredoo, Zain, and Viva. Zain is the oldest and biggest one, and then Ooredoo and Viva is the newest entrance to the market. And you can see here also it's reflecting the same. Zain is having 44, and next coming Ooredoo 37, and then Viva finally with 19. Of course, it was not intentionally made, but this is the results I received. Then I mentioned the number of years. I started from 3, since I thought it needs at least 3 years to build the experience with the company and starting to judge if he's loyal or no. Less than 3 years is not making sense to measure the loyalty. So it is 3 to 5 years, 6 to 8 years, and 9 or more years. And most of them were coming on the 3 to 5 years. Reliability test was okay for all the factors, more than 0.7, sorry. The correlation analysis I did for all the factors. Some of them was not correlated, like commitment with the physical environment, with the efficiency, with the system availability, which are factors from the service quality and e-service quality. Then I went to the regression to check how it is correlated, in which percentage each factors are explaining the dependent variable, which is the reality. So from the commitment regression, I found the convenience factor is the most significant one. And like for example, for satisfaction, I have 3 factors: significant, receives value, product service variety, and again convenience. For the trust, I found 3 factors: convenience, significant, privacy, corporate reputation, and again convenience, and so on until I did the T-test and the ANOVA test to find if there is a correlation between 2 factors like age or nationality, or multi factors like in age group or companies, telecom company, or the number of years of companies. So what I realized here, I would like to mention the age group, the commitment was significant, none of the other factors were. I tested the loyalty attitudinal, loyalty behavioral, and the three: commitment, trust, and satisfaction. Commitment was significant. Then I did the multiple comparisons to check which age group is related. So it came to be like the age group between 50 and 59 is again the biggest one affected with the commitment. And I explained this from my point of view that older people are always tending to stability and don't want to change a lot in their service. Finally, after the analysis, I have some recommendation for those companies, which I intentionally started my research to give some benefits to them, of course. So I recommend them to focus on the convenience, since it came out on most of the analysis, it's an influencing factor. So I recommend them to focus on the physical environment of their branches, the working hours, the hospitality, the friendly treating of customers from their employees, everything related to convenience, because it was an influencing factor for the main satisfaction, trust, and commitment elements. Secondly, perceived value was also came out as a significant factor, so I recommend to work on the package offering. So customers need to see a value from this company to be loyal to it. And privacy also was significant. That's why they need to apply the maximum security procedures and make sure their systems are secured. Also, telecom companies need to work on their corporate reputation, since it is a significant factor. So they need to focus on the market campaigns and how they do the society. And finally, more research needs to be done on the service quality and e-service quality, since as per the assessment and the analysis of numbers, it came against established literature. Too many authors have mentioned that quality of service, of course, is affecting, it's a major factor in the reality, but my numbers was against this. It didn't mention that it is an insignificant factor. So we need to do more research, especially for these two elements. The limitation of this research, I do the questionnaire in English language only, so maybe I bypassed Arabic native talkers. Also, I didn't contact the company itself or the management. I didn't sit with the telecom company's management, so I take it only from the customer point of view. So maybe in future research I need to do this. And also no direct interviews. I only send the online survey. I receive the results and analyze the numbers. So this may be a limitation also. Finally, it's a cross-sectional research, so maybe it needs to be done frequently to have a full picture about the reality affecting factors. The future research, I recommend to do to consider more factors, because of course whatever I have included in my model is not everything. There is more factors affecting reality. So to have a full picture, we need to do more research with more factors until we stand up on the main influence factors. Also, we may do the research, especially for each company, because what I did is a general industry. Sorry. I made it on the industry of telecommunication in Kuwait, but we can take more surveys and specific numbers for each company. So we can do it for Zain by itself, for Rido, for Viva, by name. This may be more beneficial for the company to manage to decide based on their own customers, not as a generic. Also in different industry we can do the same, so we can understand the reality more, not only telecommunication. And finally, across the time, as I said before, we can do more in different periods of times. Yes, thank you. This is I'm done with the presentation.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. Okay, if I see figure 2.1, wherever that might be now. 2.1. Yeah. And I must say, at least I appreciate you gave us some data about the industry, because it puts things a bit in perspective. If I see figure 2.1, what do I observe here? I observe that the industry is actually still growing as an industry, and relatively speaking, all the main players or the only three players are not really losing out, you know, in terms of a subscriber base. They seem to be doing okay. Why would this hint to you, therefore, that you could be facing a loyalty problem? So where does the trigger to study loyalty come when you see a chart like that?
And this is a very good question. I really faced this when I start, because as you said, actually the market is growing, all the companies are growing, and you can see maybe with the same percentage. But the problem is they have to compete each other all the time, because the lack of reality is forcing them to compete and decrease the prices all the time. So as they have more market share, but with less revenue.
Yes.
So-
And that is a function of what, you think?
Like I can give an example. It's not related,
No, no,
but
no. Stick. Theoretically, it is a function of what? That market share could be increasing, but revenues have to go down. So that becomes a competitive issue, no?
yes,
You miss explaining the market structure. Because if you explained the market structure, you would understand that in an oligopolistic market, where you have few players, rivalry is high, and knowledge of the market is known, very difficult to differentiate. Whatever anyone does, the others do. So price competition becomes one of the favorite tools. So there is a reason which, in a way, none of the players can get out of. None of them can get out of that loop. Because it is a market structure issue. So go back to explain to me why you said there is a loyalty issue then.
yeah. Here I explained this. I said differentiation is very difficult. They cannot make more revenue or more profits based on the services. Services are almost the same. You mentioned this here, but to do more profits, they have to depend on the loyalty. So, because once you are loyal, you are not shifting, even if the price is less, and with the competitors, you will not shift. You will stay with the same company, even if the price is a little bit high, even if they have some problems. You will accept them as a life partner. We will bypass something for them, so you can make more profits.
Let me conceptually put it another way for you. You have three players. Somebody leaves this company. He goes where? To this
One
one.
of them, yes.
Somebody leaves this company. He goes where? He goes here.
Yeah.
Somebody leaves here. He goes where? Back here. So I lost one, I gained one.
Yes.
So does loyalty become an issue for me if that remains, if there is rotation, unless of course everyone is defecting from two companies to go to one of them.
Yeah.
And therefore you start observing in the market a super dominant player. But if you've got rotation, you know, your loss is my gain, his gain is my loss. Aren't we all happy in the market?
The answer is no, because your loss is my gain, but it is less gains than my loyal customer. The profit is becoming less and less, because I'm working in this field. I know from inside the companies, they have, like for internet subscribers, they are increasing, but the revenue is becoming less, because they have to decrease the prices a lot. If you compare today's prices with 10 years back, it is a disaster. Like the competition is burning the price all the time, so they are not making
But
profits.
you are lowering the price, not only for the new player, for the new subscriber, for your present ones. So in a way, whether I have been with you for 10 years or 1 year, you're offering me the same price now.
But in yeah, you are right, I understand. But for the same company, if I have a bunch of loyal customers, I can give them more services. I have added value services, so I will convince them to. This is happening with me on myself personally. Every 2 years, I have a new contract with the same company. They are offering me like a package, this and this and this and that, and they are increasing the amount.
So they're offering you more for less.
Not for less. No, I have less price there in other two companies, but I'm happy with their services. That's why I'm continuing with them.
So to keep you loyal, they need to give you more in your new package.
This is what I was trying to find out. What they have to do to keep me loyal.
Because if they have to keep giving you more and not make money off you, maybe it doesn't actually pay them to keep you.
Yes.
It might actually pay to have. I'm trying to think outside the box here.
Yeah.
Because there's another interesting point. I can understand your rationale to leave out people that have not been with a company for less than 3 years. As you say, if they're less than 3 years, they're not loyal. But you know what? That is something that would interest me. What if the lack of loyalty happens within the first year? What if that is the time period of danger? And if you succeed to last a year, then the chances are you will stay loyal for 5 years. So you excluded a group of customers that could be, I don't know, but this is what I'm thinking, could be the most sensitive block that maybe you should be examining because they are new and have no obligation to the company they just joined, while someone who's been there 5 years in some way or other feels comfortable, otherwise he's not there. You know?
Yeah. From a point of view.
So give me, did you give this any thought?
Yes, of course. Of course, it was to decide to eliminate those less than 3 years. It was I have thought about this. But I think before the 3 years, we are talking about satisfaction, maybe. We are talking about commitment, maybe, but not loyalty. Because what my main measuring is about loyalty. So loyalty is something else. Loyalty should have some history, should have some experience of renewing last contract, so I will not renew again or something like this. But satisfaction can be measured, okay, in 1 or 2 years. I'm satisfied, so I will not continue. I will continue, or I'm not, so I will shift. But loyalty is beyond this. It has to have some history, I believe.
Okay, I like your explanation there.
Thank you.
Okay. Your questionnaire, I didn't find in your paper. Maybe it's there, maybe I missed it. Please highlight me to where it is. I didn't find the source of it. Is this something you created? Did you get it from somewhere? Did you adapt it? I'd like some background to the questionnaire, where it came from.
It is from the same studies which I did the model, because they have a similar models in those ones, especially I have written down the 5 sources which I get the model from, and these are the same, like from Qatar. She studied the 2 dimensions of loyalty. I took some questions from there. And also
Okay, I'll answer my question specifically. Is it written anywhere? As in, questionnaire was taken from blah blah blah. You know, have you got it written anywhere? Have you quoted the source anywhere?
my research.
Research questionnaire design 3.4.5. All I read and reference is Saunders, but that is a research methods textbook. You see, the questionnaire, the research questionnaire was constructed to assess customer loyalty through satisfaction, blah, 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 blah. Was constructed. And that's my question. Constructed from where?
Yeah, what I did, I'm not sure what I have written here, where I mentioned this, but what I did, I took from these papers and I adjust the questions to match whatever I need the respondents to do.
Did you sample test the questionnaire? Did you test it?
Not that
Or did
much,
you,
but
from nothing, go out and give it to, 304 people?
No, I started with 10 people in my company, my colleagues.
You said you started with 10. Have you told us this?
No.
So we don't know you did. So as far as I am concerned, you developed a questionnaire and kind of went live with it without taking the sort of responsible step to test it, to make adjustments based on that test before, of course, you go live
Yes.
and give it to 304 people, because you don't know, at least according to what you wrote, whether the people who answered it understood it the way you wanted them to understand it. And that is the power of pilot testing.
Yes.
Sometimes you will be surprised how people misinterpret what you actually write. And they will be answering something completely different to what, of course, you want them
Yeah,
to
because,
write.
as I told you, I brought 10 of my colleagues in one meeting room. I sat with them. They were answering all the questions,
So,
and I
why don't you
but
give
I
us a
didn't-
paragraph on that, if you did it?
yes, I missed this.
I have to know by what you write. You know, once you did it, you're not going to tell us you did it. That's a bit of a unfortunate situation. If you did it, then obviously tell us. Eh?
Of course.
The recommendations you gave us. How did you come to them? And how do you know, or at least why should I assume, once you didn't go into any detail about the companies, that they're not already happening? How do I know they're new things?
The what? The new?
How do I know that what you are recommending is something that is not already happening? You said, you know, Kuwaiti telecom company managers need to focus on the convenience factor. But how do I know they're not focusing on it?
Of course, they are working on all the factors. They are trying to manage the company to the best, enhancing everything. But my role or my benefits to them is to advise where to focus.
But here you tell us, for example, proper distribution of the locations of company branches with enough parking, easy to reach locations, suitable working hour schedules. Now, if I am a manager of one of these companies and you show me this, couldn't I answer you, yeah, we are in the right place, yeah, we have parking, yeah, our working hours are good, what are you telling me? What I'm trying to get at is, you are making recommendations that are not emerging out of the research. You did not describe anywhere in your paper that there is a problem with parking.
Yes.
And if there is a problem with parking, then of course recommend move your location to somewhere where people, because they don't want to come. That's why they're not using you, because they can't park. And I can say, put up a similar argument with you on quite a number of your recommendations. What does this mean? Because you work in the industry and you know these things, you want to tell us about them. So let me be cruel here. Did you need your research to give us this slide?
Yes, I'll tell you why.
Support it then, tell us why.
Part of my questionnaire was mentioning this, how easy it is to reach the branch, is the timing is okay. So out of this results, and I analyzed the numbers, I came out that this is important. Sometimes maybe it is not important, and it would have happened that those numbers showing convenience is not an important factor. So people don't care about reaching or working hours or this or that. So in this case, I would not add this to recommendation even if I know it. But all are based on the analysis, on the numbers came out from the questionnaire. That's why the hierarchy is like this.
Okay. In your good hands.
Yeah, thank you. I need that because look at the limitation. Your presentation is unique in something. Yeah, I have to understand your mindset here. So when you came and talk about limitation, it looks like you made a self-criticism for your work, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you were critical here.
Too much honest, I mean.
No, no, it wasn't about honesty. I can't judge that. It's not my job here, but the job is here. Like, as if you're giving us these limitation slides and you tell us that don't ask me about this is the answer of your question. If you're gonna criticize my work, this is the answer. I confess, I admit. So it looks like you don't want to be asked about that. But let me, yeah, you immediately, I had a couple of questions, definitely you admit it somehow. So, but for that reason I had to invent new questions, and luckily enough I found some. No, it's not about being like or not, but the satisfaction, the way we measure it, because I really was concerned about the linear regression application with your data and your R matrix, the collision matrix and the questionnaire, because I want to make sense of the numbers, and sometimes I have to look to the numbers and try to find out why those numbers are coming out. And I noticed something in your questionnaire. All this investigation led me to go to your questionnaire, especially when you measured satisfaction. You see what happened here? Look, give me the. Do you have the output for satisfaction in linear regression here? You showed us one here, the satisfaction regression.
Here only this one.
So you summarize the variables, right?
Yes, I
Because it was here, it was bigger.
Yeah.
So what do you have here?
The significance one only received value, product service variety, and convenience.
Yeah.
Corporate reputation is not.
Yeah. Look, which variable became significant?
Received value, product service variety, convenience.
Now,
and
yes, I understand. Perfect. Go to your questionnaire and read the satisfaction.
I am satisfied with the service quality I have been provided with by my telecom company. I am satisfied with the e-service provided by my main telecom company. I am satisfied with the product service I have been provided. I am satisfied with the prices I pay. Overall, I am satisfied with my main telecom company.
So this is, you see how you didn't measure satisfaction overall. The last question was important, the overall satisfaction. But the all other 4 questions were related to price, service, e-service. You were biasing your client to look at those variables. You see, when you want to really make correlation, you understand this because you are an engineer here. You have to measure both variables differently, right? Without really making, you bias your respondent.
Asking
about this, and the answer, that's why you find the correlation here. So, and it was dominant here, whereby you might really miss the potential of other variables to contribute to the satisfaction or to the,
But this didn't happen with the product service, for example. For the quality of service or the e-service quality. Both of them didn't come here.
and not price, because price wasn't there as a variable. Price was not there as a variable, but it was as a statement, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's.
It is price is part of the perceived value, you can say.
See, that means it could really. That means you more or less you biased. So for my side, I would have, in your place, I would have just taken the last question. Are you satisfied or not? Because this is all what you wanted, right? Overall satisfaction. Not satisfaction because of what? Because already the reasons are there in terms of variables, right? You put the reasons for satisfaction, trust, convenience. Now you were very clear, you got the point.
Yes, I understand, I pushed them towards answering.
Exactly, so you injected, always I say that you injected artificial correlation. That's why you have to be careful when you measure something like this. What else I wanted really to ask you here? And hopefully it's the last thing, because we have already had a tough discussion before me, as usual. But it will be again in, can you bring the Cronbach alpha table? Yeah, the last one, what does it mean, the last row?
The total or the reality?
Yeah, the total, last row.
I have added all the
Are they 16? I don't know.
no, 16 factors.
How can you do that?
It's not
Did
relevant, but
It's not relevant,
yeah,
absolutely.
because
not.
I mentioned here number of items, so I have to fill this.
It's absolutely not.
Yeah, not relevant. No.
So this should have been eliminated because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it is only counting.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can give us some time and we'll call you back in soon.